Hello, I'm Jemma Holden, the Beef and Lamb Technical Manager. Welcome to this short presentation about the next version of the Red Tractor Beef and Lamb Standards. In this presentation, I will give you a brief introduction followed by a summary of our recent consultation on the proposed changes. Then I will talk you through the key changes and new standards that are being introduced with version 5. At the UK's largest and most comprehensive food assurance scheme, Red Tractor's core mission is to reassure the public that food bearing its logo is safe and responsibly produced. When it was founded over 2 decades ago, the focus was on food safety, animal welfare and environmental protection. But as with all industries, demands shift and the scheme has developed to keep pace with those demands. We review our standards every 3 to 4 years across all sectors to help our members farm to meet the evolving expectations of consumers and adapt to market requirements as simply as possible. Developed over a 12-month period, the proposals are drawn up with input at every stage from farmers, farming unions and associations, vets, academics, processors and retailers. This year, for the first time in its history, we directly opened up our consultation process to our 46,000 farmer members, making it the biggest and most transparent consultation ever. More than 3,000 pieces of feedback were received from across the industry and customers during the review, which ran for 2 months across January and February. To ensure the consultation was as broad as possible, we gathered feedback in the form of meetings, written responses, emails and phone calls, and almost 750 responses were submitted on our consultation platform. We received responses to the beef and lamb proposals from industry stakeholders such as beef and lamb processors, retailers, individual members and trade associations. Once the consultation closed, all of the responses were read and reviewed, assigned to relevant standards and fed into the committee review process for consensus. For each individual proposal, we analysed the proportion of respondents that agreed or disagreed, and we read every single comment. The feedback we received from respondents was invaluable, as it enabled us to refine and improve the standards to ensure they are fit for purpose and practical to achieve. The Technical Advisory Committee for each sector were provided with all the responses and a summary of the analysis for each proposal. In some cases, there was clear support and these proposals were adopted with a few tweaks where needed. In other cases, there was clear disagreement and more discussion was needed. The TACs discussed and debated the proposals and balanced up the sometimes conflicting views. Once the TAC reached consensus on the final wording, the standards were put forward to the sector boards for sign-off. The 5th version of these standards have now been agreed and come into effect from the 1st of November 2021. In a previous narrated presentation released as part of the consultation earlier this year, I summarised the main proposals that were being consulted on and explained some of the rationale behind why certain standards were being introduced or amended. I will now take you through some of the key changes that have been adopted and highlight things to be aware of ahead of the 1st of November. When you receive your copy of the beef and lamb standards, you might notice that they look slightly different. There hasn't been a huge change, but now the middle column, the how you will be measured, has been split into individual audit points. This won't mean much to you as scheme members, as your assessor will have audited you against all the detail previously anyway, and you won't receive more non-conformances. It just means that Red Tractor is able to collect more granular data regarding the reasons why a non-conformance has been raised. In time, this will enable us to provide more guidance and support to members in areas where there are more non-conformances. One thing you might have noticed is that the coding of the standards and audit points doesn't always follow a consecutive order. Don't worry, there aren't standards missing. It's simply because we've aligned the coding across the farm standards and certain standards aren't applicable in all sectors. We've also added guidance boxes, as you can see here in dark grey. You'll see more of these dotted through the manual. These have been added to give more guidance and clarification around certain standards to help you and assessors understand exactly what's required. Having competent people who understand what to do is crucial to your business. New staff will need to be introduced to the farm and their tasks fully explained to them. You'll need to keep a record of this, As well as explaining their tasks, the induction should cover at least an explanation of your health and safety policies and management reporting lines. As you will be aware, health and safety has a poor record in agriculture. Whilst agriculture accounts for 1% of the UK's workforce, it accounts for 20% of fatalities at work. Improving this performance is a task for the whole industry, but Red Tractor can play an important role in elevating the profile of health and safety on farm and ensuring a baseline level of legal compliance. By law, all businesses must have a health and safety policy, and this must be written down where the businesses have more than 5 employees. The new standard is a modest advance on the legal baseline. It requires that all farms with workers have a written health and safety policy. This will ensure that all Red Tractor farms have a simple, clearly defined approach to managing health and safety, and that this can be independently verified. Tethering poses a reputational risk for the industry, and following current recommendations from the Farm Animal Welfare Council and EFSA, it has been accepted that tethered housing systems will not be permitted on Red Tractor farms, as they restrict normal animal behaviour, such as self-grooming and exercise. In the short term, derogations will be offered to the small number of members who are tethering their cattle. They would need to apply for a derogation directly to Red Tractor by the 1st of November 2021. Red Tractor will then gather information on how many farmers this new position affects. We want to know why the practice is being used and if it's possible for this system to be changed. Red Tractor will visit all the farms that have applied for a derogation between November and January. The information gathered during this time will be presented to the boards in spring 2022, and then decisions will be made on timelines given for derogations. Health planning means lots of things to different people. An efficient and meaningful health planning is built on generic management techniques for continuous improvement. Trying to encourage farmers to move away from firefighting to a proactive management system. Meaningful, effective health planning is built on a herd flock health cycle, which is specific to the farm. Fundamentally, this is an effective way to health plan by setting targets, planning ahead to see how you will achieve these targets and monitor how you get on. And at the end of the cycle, you will review. When you get back to the start, you may have learned something new which will trigger a change in the health plan, which will consistently improve performance. In order to conduct useful, meaningful reviews, you must keep records. If you can't measure it, you can't improve it. Animal health and welfare is a core principle of Red Tractor, and it has been a key area of focus in this review. The plan must be signed, dated, and reviewed by the vet annually. It must be easily accessible to all persons involved in the care and management of stock, and makes reference to those responsible for livestock and other relevant persons, e.g. nutritionalist, foot trimmer, shearer, nominated vet, or vet from a nominated vet practice. The standard and how you will be measured have been reworded and reordered to give greater clarity and to better reflect the requirements that the health plan and the health and performance review are closely linked, with the health and performance review driving change within the health plan. The annual health and performance review carried out by the vet should identify key issues and outline actions to control or reduce their prevalence. This review may trigger a change in procedure within the health plan. Endemic disease control is crucial to the health of livestock, and there are a few national schemes working to manage and eradicate some diseases. Assessors will be asking how you are taking action to eradicate BVD in your herd, which must be documented in the health plan and implemented. For example, you may be part of a national scheme or conducting regular testing. For finishing units, this could be detailed in the biosecurity policy about sourcing incoming stock. Initially, this is a new recommendation, but the standard will be upgraded to a full standard in October 2022. There has been a change in terminology throughout the health and welfare section to nominated vet or vet from the nominated vet practice. The fragmented nature of the industry makes it difficult for vets to have a clear picture of what medicines have been used on farm. A closer working relationship between vets and farmers will provide effective oversight, flexibility and accountability, which help to preserve the reputation of the industry. This revision, ensuring that your nominated vet visits the farm at least once a year to see the livestock, makes it clearer that the vet has professional oversight of the farm. The way members move and handle livestock is crucial for both welfare and the industry's reputation. Stress and poor handling do not just affect the welfare of the stock and staff, it also reduces returns by impairing carcass quality of the meat. Effective handling improves the safety of those working with stock, enhances animal welfare and reduces labour requirements and raises efficiency. We have added a new appendix which explicitly sets out Red Tractor's expectations as to what is and is not acceptable livestock handling. With increasing focus on human antibiotic resistance, there is a need for the agricultural industry to demonstrate responsible use of medicines. We know that education underpins the success of any strategy to deliver the improved stewardship of antibiotics. The inclusion of a requirement that at least one person has undertaken recent after October 2016 medicine training will raise awareness, knowledge and understanding of antimicrobial resistance and drive medicine use best practice in a consistent manner across UK farms. This supports the policies of the Responsible Use of Medicines in Agriculture Alliance and the Targets Task Force and help deliver the UK 5-year antimicrobial resistance strategy. Red Tractor are already engaged with the industry actions looking to address the challenges posed by antimicrobial resistance. To provide further feedback, the annual vet review will include focuses on alternative disease prevention strategies, which will aim to reduce levels of disease and ensure the correct medicines are prescribed. Additionally, there will be a new standard which states medicine records must provide an annual collation of total antibiotics used, so that meaningful reviews can take place with their vet to reduce antibiotic use where appropriate. Supported by scientific research, it is well documented that cattle and sheep do feel pain. As such, reducing any pain caused by routine animal husbandry procedures is a crucial aspect of maintaining farm animal welfare. With specific reference to calves, the rationale behind using analgesic has been well documented and has been recommended by the Farm Animal Welfare Council. We recognise that in the interest of animal welfare, human health and safety and farm business viability, that it will not be possible to replace or reduce the need for some routine husbandry procedures on calves. However, animal welfare is a core principle of Red Tractor, and we are advocating the use of analgesia to manage the pain associated with these husbandry procedures. Consequently, cauterizing paste can only be used on animals less than 1 week of age, and we are recommending that analgesia is applied. Pollutants present a serious risk to the environment. We know that you are already storing agrochemicals in a manner that minimises the risk of contamination and pollution to crops, feedstuffs, animal soils, groundwater and watercourses. A slight revision of our standards will ensure that any spillages can be contained appropriately. Looking after your organic manure is a key part of looking after the environment. Existing requirements have been strengthened to cover temporary field heaps, effluent from manure heaps and capacity of slurry storage. You will now be required to have an up-to-date calculation of your slurry storage requirements. Since the 1970s, nitrogenous fertilisers have been misused in homemade explosives. We have introduced a standard to ensure that these products are stored in a way that minimises the risk of theft. With the launch of this next version of the beef and lamb standards, we want to make sure you have everything you need to ensure you are meeting all of the requirements. Look out for checklists which detail what has changed and why in each sector, and newsletters which give further detail on why the new standards have been introduced, why they matter to you and what you need to do differently. For more information, head to the Red Tractor Assurance website where you'll find guidance, templates and other useful material. I hope you have found this presentation useful. Thank you for listening.